What were the reasons behind these particular priorities? What kind of needs did they address? How did you find out that this is something that you need?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. We have already quite a long tradition related to the issue of men-women, gender, and we still can see that the number of women in management positions is not really high. You know, there's still a gap between 24% in top management and 50%. So we kept that target group. And when you look at our labor market, I don't know if it goes for your country as well, but in our country, when you look at all the people looking for a job, up to 70–80% of our people looking for a job are diverse. They have a disability or chronic illness. They belong to the elderly. They have a foreign descent. All together, 70–80% of our labor market looks like that. So if you want to improve your country in an economic way and also in a social way, then it's quite logical that you look at those groups: people with a disability, people with an illness, people of foreign descent, men-women issue. And we also chose to work on the issue of sexual orientation. In practice, we are investing most of the time our initiatives to the target group of people with an illness and disease. But at the same time, you can see that the results are not exciting, you know. But it demands a lot of time. But it's important anyway. So that's a little bit the context why we chose to work on those topics. But it can be very well possible that in a few years we are going to change. You know, perhaps we have a lot of women in management positions, and then we are going to choose for the elderly. So that's a possibility.
Yes, hello. I'm Kaines Nelson from the British Embassy in Tallinn. Thank you for your presentation. I have a question. In addition to numbers of women in the top positions of company leadership and also politics, we also have a problem in Estonia with pay gap between men and women. Pay gap,
okay.
Which means that man and woman in a similar position, the woman would get about 30% less pay, although she is equally qualified with a man in her position. So do you have any problems with that in your country, and how do you tackle that?
I think there are a lot of similarities between Flanders, Belgium, and your country, Estonia. And I think that's also a good reason why there are a lot of initiatives to work together, because we share a lot of problems. The same goes for Belgium. There is also a pay gap. Figures, you know, they say there is a distinction of a gap of, let's say, 50% to 20–25%. It depends on what you take into account. If you take the element of working part-time, if you look at that and you put that aside, then you will get another figure. But even if you don't look at elements like working part-time, for example, then there is still a payment gap, which cannot be explained. So we face the same problem. There are now some initiatives, some regulations we are preparing and which are installed. And in our country, we have a culture of strong debates with our unions and our organizations representing employers. So we have the tradition to discuss everything with them. So now we are trying to convince them to invest to solve this problem. But it's difficult. It's already years a topic, and it's very hard to solve the problem. So perhaps we can inspire and work together. Perhaps you are finding good solutions, and we can apply it implement it too in Belgium.
I think we have one more question.
Okay.
Thank you. Maybe I ask the question in Estonian, is possible, then you understand maybe better.
In Estonian?
Yeah.
No, I
but you can you take this one?
Thank you. It's also being diverse, eh? Different languages?
Yeah. Minu küsimus on selline, et minu arust elu ei ole nii lihtne, nagu me arvame. Ta on tunduvalt lihtsam. Me oleme ise ta lihtsalt väga keeruliseks ajanud. Ja teie suure kogemuse juures, mis te 7 aastat olete nüüd saanud juhtida ja mõelda, et kas te olete leidnud mõne niisuguse lihtsa lahenduse, kuidas muuta üleüldse inimeste mõtlemist ja suhtumist oma elusse. Et äkki me peaks võtma mingisuguse väga lihtsa lahendus, mis oluliselt muudaks kogu meie mõtlemist. Olete selle peale mõelnud ja kui see on midagi, kas te suudaksite seda näiteks välja pakkuda praegu? Mis paneks inimesi natukene teistmoodi mõtlema üldse sellesse protsessi, kus me oleme? Me oleme väga, Euroopa on üldiselt mugavustsoonis, et meil on heaolu on väga kõrge, et kui maailmas on, ütleme siin, vaesuspiir on $3 on päevas, no siis me oleme kõik väga rikkad ja elame väga hästi. Aga mis võiks panna Euroopas olevaid inimesi natukene teistmoodi üldse mõtlema ja olete selle peale mõelnud ja kui on, siis palun öelge, mis see võiks olla. Väga lihtne asi näiteks. Aitäh.
Thank you for your question. A very interesting question, but also very difficult to answer. So I think I would need an additional hour to discuss on this topic. But to go for short, and it's related to the lessons I learned, don't wait until all people agree. Change management, 20%, 60%. Work hard. Use your head and your heart to convince people. Use your passion, your belief. So you can convince your guiding coalition and perhaps also others. But you need to have leaders. Leaders in your companies, leaders in your governments, your ministers, to stand up and take position and to do the things, and perhaps not all people agree. So I think it demands leadership. And don't wait till all people agree. But at this moment, times are not that easy. You can notice when you look at history that in times when there is, when economics are going well, it's much easier to promote your topic of diversity. At this moment, we also have an economic and financial crisis in Belgium. The same goes in our country. And then it's much more difficult to convince your organization because there are other problems to solve. And of course, these problems are very severe. But I don't think those two movements oppose. I think you can connect the two. And you have to look further than the next 5 years, the next 5 years of a crisis. Because after the crisis, we know we are facing a shortage in the labor market. And the same goes for all of Europe. And I don't know if it's the same goes for Estonia, but I can imagine you will have the same problem. Who's going to pay your pension? So please invest now and look at the long term. Investing in diversity is good in a social way and is good in an economic way. So I think it's very important as somebody who's feeling passion for the issue of diversity that you are capable to use the economic arguments, but also use your heart. Because as people, we are not only machines making things move, but we are also humans and we want to be ourselves. So the social aspect is also a very important issue. But, you know, how to convince them in this current situation, as you also explained to us, it's difficult. Be aware. But believe, if you don't believe yourself, you're not able to convince other people. So I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
If you would like to have some more information, you can visit our website. Okay, it's already disappeared. No. But you can visit our website, Founders Today. It's in English. And if you are coming to Brussels, you know, for your holiday, give me a call or send me an email, and we can meet again. And I really would look forward to that. Thank you.